The U.S. Coast Guard Wednesday diverted its robotic undersea search operations to the area where sounds, likely from the missing OceanGate Expeditions submersible, originated from. Search teams, as reported by the Coast Guard, detected underwater sound as they scanned the North Atlantic to search for the tourist vessel that embarked on a journey to explore the century-old Titanic ruins in the Canadian seas, according to Reuters. The submersible, the sounds of which were detected by a Canadian aircraft on the third day of the search, vanished with 5 passengers, including crew members, aboard during their deep-sea expedition. It is presumed to be left just 24 hours of oxygen supply. The U.S. Coast Guard tweeted that there was still no tangible sign of the missing Titan submersible. The 21-foot-long submersible Titan, operated by U.S.-based OceanGate Expeditions, lost contact with its parent surface vessel on Sunday morning about 1 hour and 45 minutes into what should have been a 2-hour dive to the site of the world's most famous shipwreck. The mini-sub was designed to remain underwater for 96 hours, according to its specifications, giving its 5 occupants until Thursday morning before the air supply would run out if the craft were still intact. The fate of the submersible and those aboard remained a mystery as teams from the US, Canada and France mounted an intensifying search in an area of open sea larger than the state of Connecticut. The wreck of the Titanic, a British ocean liner that struck an iceberg during its maiden voyage on the night of April 14, 1912, and sank the next morning, lies some 12,500 feet, 3,810 meters, beneath the surface about 900 miles, 1,450 kilometers east of Cape Cod, Massachusetts, and 400 miles, 644 kilometers south of St. John's, Newfoundland. As of Tuesday, aircraft and ships from the U.S. Coast Guard, U.S. Navy and Canadian Armed Forces had combed more than 7,600 square miles of the North Atlantic, U.S. Coast Guard Captain Jamie Frederick told reporters at a press conference on day 3 of the search. Those aboard Titan for a tourist expedition that costs $250,000 per person included British billionaire Hamish Harding, 58, and Pakistani-born businessman Shahzada Dawood, 48, with his 19-year-old son Suleiman, who are both British citizens. French explorer Paul-Henri Nargeolet, 77, and Stockton Rush, founder and CEO of OceanGate Expeditions, were also reported to be on board. Authorities have not confirmed the identity of any passenger. Robotic search redirected. The search effort included Lockheed P-3 Orion turboprop airplanes designed with subsurface surveillance gear to detect submarines, Frederick said. The Canadian military dropped sonar buoys to listen for any sounds that might come from the Titan, and a commercial pipeline-laying vessel with a remote-controlled deep-water submersible was also searching near the site, he said. Separately, a French research ship carrying its own deep-sea diving robot submersible was dispatched to the search area at the request of the U.S. Navy and was expected to arrive Wednesday night local time, the IFRMA Research Institute said. Canada's P-3 aircraft ended up detecting underwater noises in the search area on Tuesday, after which ROV, remotely operated vehicle, searches were relocated in an attempt to explore the origin of the noises, according to the Coast Guard tweets. The ROV searches have yielded negative results but continue, the Coast Guard said, adding that the P-3 data was shared with U.S. Navy experts for further analysis which will be considered in future search plans. The Coast Guard did not detail the nature or extent of the sounds. But CNN and Rolling Stone magazine, citing internal U.S. government communications, independently reported late on Tuesday that banging sounds were detected by Canadian aircraft at 30-minute intervals in the search area. Rolling Stone, the first to report the news, said the sounds were picked up by sonar buoys and that additional sonar picked up more banging 4 hours later. CNN cited a U.S. government memo as saying that additional sounds were heard about 4 hours after initial banging was detected, although the news channel said the second occurrence was not described as banging. Bolted from outside, rescuers face major obstacles both in finding the Titan and in saving the people aboard, according to experts. In the event of a mid-dive emergency, the Titan's pilot would likely have released weights to float back to the surface, according to Alastair Gregg, a marine engineering professor at University College London. But absent communication, locating a van-sized submersible in the vast Atlantic would prove challenging, he said. The submersible is sealed with bolts from the outside, preventing occupants from escaping without assistance even if it surfaces. If the Titan were stuck on the ocean floor, a rescue effort would face even greater challenges due to extreme hydrostatic pressure and total darkness on the seafloor more than 2 miles deep. Titanic expert Tim Matlin said it would be almost impossible to effect a sub-to-sub rescue on the seabed. The sinking of the Titanic, which killed more than 1,500 people, has been immortalized in books and films, including the 1997 blockbuster movie Titanic, which renewed popular interest in the wreck.